Good afternoon, everyone. Today, welcome to our MPO Policy Committee meeting. Today's date's May 15, 2024. Believe it or not, we're in the summer, starting to begin the summer, starting to get a little warm outside. Approximate time is 1:32, 1:33. Here we're here at the City of Laredo Council Chambers, 1110 Houston Street. We're going to go ahead and have this get started on this meeting. We're going to have the chairperson to call. I am the chairperson, sorry. I don't know how you like me now. Anyway, we're going to call this meeting to order. We're going to have, well, it's a little bit messed up our order. We're going to have roll call.
Yeah, roll call's next, and Ms. Briones will help with the roll call.
Good afternoon. Judge Tano Tijerina,
President.
Mayor Dr. Victor D. Trevino, Councilmember Melissa Cigarroa, present. Councilmember Ruben Gutierrez,
Present.
Commissioner Jesse Gonzalez, Commissioner John Galo, Councilmember Vanessa Perez, Mr. Epigmenio Epi Gonzalez,
Present.
Mr. Jed Brown.
We do have a quorum, and so a motion to excuse for this meeting, the ones that are absent today.
Second.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Let's go ahead and go into item 5. First of all, I'm sorry. Citizen comments, we have none at this particular time. Item 4, I should say. Item 4A, approval of minutes for the meeting held on April 17, 2024.
So moved.
There's
Second.
motion second. Any opposed? Motion carries. 4B is to receive public testimony and initiate a 20-day public review and comment period for the proposed draft 2025-2028 Transportation Improvement Program, which we say TIP most of the time. That's the acronym for it.
Thank you, Judge. On this item, we do have a brief presentation. Since it is a receive public testimony item, we do need to open a public hearing and just see if anyone's here to speak for or against the item.
Is there anyone here for or against the proposed draft for 2025-2028? Here to speak for or against, or forever hold your peace?
Till 2028.
Till 2028. All right, none had. So you wanting us to close it?
Well, we're going to initiate a 20-day comment period. So
okay.
Briones could go ahead and make the presentation. Okay. And then after that, just open that 20-day comment period, and we'll come back in June to approve the final draft.
Very well.
Good afternoon, Judge and members of the Policy Committee. Yes, the item is to receive public testimony and initiate a 20-day public review and comment period for the proposed draft of our 2025-2028 Transportation Improvement Program, which is our TIP. Per federal law, all MPOs are required to develop the TIP for their planning areas for a period of 4 years in cooperation with the state and public transit providers. Our MPO public participation plan, which is the PPP, requires that we do a 20-day public review and comment period for initial adoption of the TIP. The TIP must be physically constrained, and projects are included only if all full funding can be anticipated to be available for the project within the time period contemplated for the completion of the project. The TIP may be amended by the Policy Committee. It's usually amended every 2 years, but may be amended at any time during its life cycle as needed. Approved amendments are also submitted to the State Transportation Improvement Program, which is the STIP, on a quarterly basis. The following list is the number of projects that we have for 2025. We have 6 projects, including the replacement of a bridge at Uniroyal Drive, the Loop 20 interchange at Lomas del Sur. The first one is for about $254 million. The second one, the interchange at Lomas del Sur, is for $41 million approx. Then we have FM 1472 and Fletcher Lane, the realignment for $1,800,000. The fourth project is Carlton Road and Santa Maria interchange for approximately $16 million. Then we have the River Vega Trail, which is about $700,000. And then we have a sixth project, the Nevi charging stations for over 1.3 million. So in total, 6 projects for 2025 and the amount of 315 plus million. Then for 2026, we have 2 projects listed. One is the direct connector number 3 and number 6 in the amount of 113,505, and the Springfield extension for almost 1.5 million. For fiscal year 2027, we are listing Vallecillo Road in the amount of 36,592,000. And for 2028, we have 3 projects. One is the interchange at the airport for a little bit over 37 million. The second project is the reconstruction of Loop 20 at US 59 for almost 80 million. And the World Trade Bridge expansion, we're listing 12 million right now, provided that it will be updated on the total cost. That is for 2028, we have 3 projects. Then this is a map showing the location of the proposed projects. And then we have 3 projects listed for transit projects under the different sections listed there, 5307, 5310, 5339. Total amount for these 3 projects is 20 million and is repetitive for the fiscal year 26, the same for 27 and for 28. So in conclusion, or as a summary, we have a total of 12 mobility projects or highway projects, 6 in 2025, 2 in 2026, 1 in 2027, and 3 in 2028. And then we have 12 total for transit, 3 each year. And for highway, we have a total amount of 596,220,000. And then for transit, we have a total amount funded of 81 million approx. And I don't know if
Judge, if I may?
you have any
Yes,
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, on that, the first page you showed us, the interchange at Uniroyal and I-35, $254 million, it's almost half the amount that we are allocated for the next 4 years. What exactly is being done at that particular location? Just a replacement of? Is it gonna be increased in size? Is it gonna be expanded any? Or is it the same thing that's there now, just a newer version of?
Yeah, I know, Texas could probably help me answer this, but I know that it also includes the overpass at Achar, right, at I-35 and Union Royal, and a stretch of the road there, so it includes that as well.
So it's not just the Uniroyal I-35, then it's also including a Charbonneau Fincher?
Correct. So we're looking at reconstructing that whole interchange, also expanding the 6 lanes on 35 up to mile marker 15, I believe. That's going to include the overpass at that future Achar project. It's actually an underpass at 35.
Right.
And we're also going to be converting the frontage roads from 2-way operation to 1-way operation in that area. So.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Mendoza?
No, this is just the draft right now. We'll be presenting this for public comment period, and then in June we'll bring it back as a final. If there's any changes that we make to it, we'll let you know. If there's any changes in the project, we might need an additional comment period. But in the meantime, we're just gonna look over the document, and if there's any minor changes, like grammatical things or little things like that, we'll make those edits. And if there's anything substantial, we'll advise you of that.
Okay, so go back to receive public testimony, initiate a 20-day public review and comment period for the proposed draft. I'll go in, so move it to open up the public review and comment period for this.
Second.
2025-2028 tip. Any other questions or comments? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 4C, receive public testimony, initiate a 10-day public review and comment period for the following proposed revisions to the 2045 Metropolitan Transportation Plan, MTP.
Yes, Ms. Briones will also present this item. Basically, it's just making sure that the projects that we're adding in this proposed tip are also in our Metropolitan Transportation Plan.
Thank you. Yes, Graciela Briones again from your MPO staff. The Metropolitan, the MPOs are required to develop an update of the MTP for the respective areas covering planning horizon of 20 years. The MTP is an official comprehensive intermodal plan that identifies the existing and future transportation needs and develops coordinated strategies to provide the necessary transportation facilities essential for the continued mobility and economic vitality of the region. The projects included in the MPO Transportation Improvement Program, which is the document that was presented in the previous item, shall be consistent with the approved MTP. So the proposed revision right now is intended to make the necessary changes to the MTP, specifically Appendix A, which is a short-range project identified in the MTP and listed in the TIP, to incorporate and reflect the projects as part of the proposed 2025-2028 TIP, and which adoption is proposed or scheduled for next month. This is the Appendix A that we have as part of the MTP.
Motion to approve and initiate a 10-day public review and public testimony of the MTP, Metropolitan Transportation Plan 2020 to 2045.
I'll second that. Any other questions or comments? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have, let me get my screen here. There we go. Revision of Appendix A, C1, 4C1, revision of Appendix A, short-range project identified as the MTP listed, tip if necessary to incorporate and reflect the proposed 2025-2028 tip. Is there anything there we need to do?
That was that same item.
Okay, that's that same
Yeah,
one.
we're
Okay.
going to item
I just wanted to make sure.
4D. Yes.
Okay. 1, D, E, and F. Okay. Discussion and possible action to approve a resolution number MPO 2024-06 supporting and adopting the revised performance measures and targets for the Laredo Transit Management, Inc., LTMI 2024 Transit Assessment Management, TAM Plan.
Yes, thank you, Judge. This is a transit-related item. This has already been approved by the Mass Transit Board at their Mass Transit Board meeting. And what we have to do as an MPO is also adopt that document and incorporate it into our planning process when we update our MTP, and making sure we're mentioning those targets and programming projects that try to achieve those transit asset management targets that they have in their plan. I know Metro staff is also here if you have questions, but I could also answer any questions you may have.
Any questions or comments, colleagues?
I do.
Yes.
There is a performance targets and measures chart, and it says that in discussing what the targets are, it mentions ULB. Could you just define what ULB is?
I want to say it's useful life, right, if I'm not mistaken. Mr. Garza's
Hello, Mr.
approaching.
Garza.
RJ Garza, for the record, Transit Director. ULB is the useful life benchmark, so for assets, this plan is for we're required to update and revise our plan every 4 years. And so this is a revision of the first plan. And we identify all the assets, all our rolling stock, all our equipment, all our facilities, and we identify what needs to be replaced. And the useful life of, for example, buses, it's 12 years up to 14 years. So we try to reach those targets. And so we updated all our equipment that we replaced during that time period. And that's all basically what we did.
So it's a timeline on the fleet, basically.
Timelines for replacement.
That's what I'm saying on the fleet. It's for
On
replacement
fleet.
purposes.
Facility improvements and things like that.
Very good.
And equipment.
Any other questions?
Motion to approve resolution number MPO 2024-07, supporting and adopting.
A second. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item E, discussion with possible action to approve a resolution, sorry.
I'm not, sorry. My bad. Apologies.
Are we good?
Oh, we're good.
Okay. I'm getting sidekicked over here. Discussion with possible action to approve resolution number MPO 2024-07, supporting and adopting the fifth version of the Laredo Transit Management LTMI Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan PTASP and safety performance targets for calendar year 2024 and to incorporate into the Metropolitan planning process.
Thank you, Judge. Similar to the last item, this is another document that needs to be updated. This one actually is updated every year. It's also updated by transit agency. They've also presented this to the Mass Transit Board, and they have approved this document already. Again, our process is to also support and adopt this plan as well and incorporate it in our process.
So moved.
Second.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Judge, if I may bring back
Yes.
number 4D.
4D,
Motion.
Go ahead and move the motion, please.
Second.
Judge, my motion
Any
was
opposed?
to,
Motion carries. Yes, sir, go ahead.
my motion was to approve MPO 2024-07, just amending that motion to 2024-06.
Let the record reflect that he is, the motion and second, if I could, I think it was myself.
Yes, sir.
I'll amend my motion as well to reflect 06 versus 07. It's just a technicality. Any other questions, comments? Any opposed? Perfect. Motion carries. Thank you. Now it's, thank you for bringing that up. Item F, 4F, discussion on possible action to accept the ranking of firms that submitted proposals in the response to RFP FY 24, -042, and award a professional service contract to the Goodman Corporation, the amount of $149,100 for the Laredo Transit Management, Inc. Microtransit feasibility study.
Right, thank you, Judge. Yes, we did solicit a request for proposals. We're working on a study that we're helping the Metro do, a microtransit feasibility study to try to assess where we can use on-demand services here in Laredo. So this is being funded through the MPO, through our Unified Planning Work Program planning funds. We put out the RFP. We received those proposals back. We got 4 proposals in total. We had an evaluation committee made up of 9 members. Those are a subset of technical committee members, right? We had I'll give you the breakdown. We had 2 from the City of Laredo, 2 evaluators from Webb County, 1 from the South Texas Development Council, 2 from TxDOT, an MPO representative, and then also someone from the Metro was also one of the evaluators. And then the criteria and weights was work program and project management, 40, experience and qualifications, 30, cost, 20, schedule of work, 10. Based on their recommendation, they provided a recommendation to the technical committee to award the Goodman Corporation, who received the highest average score of 89. And the technical committee is recommending to this committee also to go with that highest ranked firm and award a contract to the Goodman Corporation for the feasibility study, budgeted at $149,100.
Motion to approve?
Second. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Let's go ahead and go to item 5, reports and presentations. No action required on these. Status report on the RMA. Good afternoon, Ms.
Good afternoon,
Melissa.
Chairman and Judge. Melissa Montemayor with the Webb County City of Laredo RMA. You have our status report in the packet.
Do.
If there are any questions I can answer, I can do so.
Any questions or comments for the RMA? Any questions that you, okay, none have. Appreciate you very much. That was easy enough, isn't it? Item 5B, presentation and update by Texas Department of Transportation, TxDOT, on the Laredo Outer Loop. And this is the one that's gonna get juicy.
Good afternoon. Roberto Rodriguez with the Director of TPD.
Good afternoon, Roberto.
And I'm just going to give a quick update on the Laredo Outer Loop. As we have discussed this before in previous presentation, there's 5 pieces to our project development, which is a plan, environmental, right-of-way, and utilities. We do the develop and the design of the PSNE, and then it goes out to construction. Right now, this is about the time frame, that we have allocated on a typical project for environmental right-of-way and development of the project. And when you see the red arrow, that's pretty much where we are at. We got all the public input. We already have started the schematic. We're about to start on the schematic phase of this project. This is just another way of presenting our schedule. You know, we, back in the time we did this presentation, we were looking at the feasibility study. That was about a year and a half ago, but years, you know, we were at the year 2, you know, doing the feasibility study that was completed already. So right now we're on the next phase. We're about to start the development and the design of the schematic. Being of the magnitude of this project, what we decided at the district is to get some help from the project management team in Austin to help us manage this project and start developing a schematic. We'll be coming out with a contract, you know, for consultants to develop the schematic in all the phases. And pretty much what you see over here in this map, you know, is the segments that we had discussed through the other. Now, let me just make note. If you look at the right side, the segment number 1, part of number 2 and number 3 is already being looked at by a consultant. We already have a consultant doing the schematic. We kind of got ahead on that one due to the Bridge 4-5 development. We wanted to make sure that was not gonna delay at all our connection to Loop 20. So we got a consultant, Posneki Camarillo, a few months back on board to help us already develop the schematic on the Loop 20 extension from Mangana Hines South to the loop, that connection to the loop number 2, and then to 83, and we're just waiting on the presidential permit to do the connection to number 1. So that's already been under design. What this new procurement is gonna include is the rest of the segments, you know, number 4, number 5, and number 6. Let me do the disclaimer. This cost that you're seeing on this table, this is 2020. This is where the feasibility study, the initial phase of it was being developed. We are waiting to have these new consultants on board to come up with a new cost estimate, you know, based on the design that they're proposing. However, we do estimate it's going to be another 40–50% more, you know, cost on the project. Of course, we're gonna be, our plan is to build it in phases, especially the segments on between 359 and 59 and north of 59, which is starting at what you see at the beginning, you know, is the first initial typical section, having a 2-lane road, you know, with enough right-of-way width already for a future freeway, because that's what we want to ultimate to have on loop. Our intermediate typical section will be building the other 2 lanes, you know, so now you're going to have a divided 4-lane highway, 2 lanes in each direction, and you will build the overpasses required. Then the next phase will be having a full freeway. Now we'll come and build the main lanes in the middle, and then eventually, as needed, you know, we can actually widen into 6 lanes on the main lanes of the road. This is just kind of a more detailed explanation. You know, when we have at that time, just building our 2-lane road, you know, for this lane was about $252 million. Then having to come back later to build the additional 2 lanes, we're talking another 220+ millions back in the numbers of 2020. You know, and then coming back and building the middle portion, the lanes in the middle, that was adding another close to $250 million on this project. So with that, if we were to build, you know, right now the outer loop from beginning to end as a full freeway, we're talking about $1.7 billion. Of course, like I said, we estimate it's going to be another 40–50% more, today's numbers. But we didn't want to present any numbers until we get our consultants to relook at the design and make sure that we're still in compliance with all the latest standards and requirements.
So, if I can, I would like to, I guess, the numbers that we're presenting here is just construction dollars. That doesn't include the right-of-way, utilities, and all the other costs that go into this, right? So this is just construction, right?
That is correct.
Do you have a status report on the realignment or the final alignment of US 59-69 corridor? Is there anything, do you have anything like that?
The US 59-69, you mean the
final
alignments?
alignment.
Okay. Well, no, we're still looking at the alternatives that were presented, which is around Delmar.
Okay.
In Delmar, around right there.
Okay.
And then one was by the university. we're still looking at those two alternates. And
Okay, so that hasn't been finalized then?
no, it should be finalized within the next 30 days. We're already getting close to that.
Good.
Make that decision.
And on this presentation, if you don't mind being so kind and send us all an email on this presentation, please. I think it'd be good for us to have it on an email. And that way we could kind of study it a little bit more.
Not a
If you
problem.
don't mind, thank you.
Any other questions?
Any other questions or comments? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
It's not as easy as Melissa's, but it's not bad. All right, let's get moving. Director's comments, here we go.
Thank you. Well, first thing I wanted to mention, the first thing on there was the HR Ruthinger item. I know, in speaking to the chair, Judge Tijerina, he mentioned since the project's already going to letting, that maybe we don't need to bring it to this body every meeting, just if needed. So my understanding is right now the project, I think, received initial bids, right? If I'm not mistaken.
That is correct. So bids were received on May 2nd. The engineering estimate was a little bit over 144 million, and the apparent low bidder came in at just a little bit over 122 million. So we have, I think it's like 15% under the engineering estimate, which was a little bit surprising. So that's.
I was about to say, this is being recorded, right? Because that's unheard of. All right, we'll take it to today's age, right?
And again, just giving a shout out to, I know that we've worked really hard with the city of Laredo, and Ana, our project manager, she was pulling some serious overtime there.
Well, great job.
Yes.
Thank you. Good job.
So, anyway, thank you.
So the next thing I want to mention, we are going to have a public meeting. We sent out a calendar invite for May 23rd at 6 p.m. at the public library. We do have a flyer in front of you. This is part of that Metropolitan Transportation Plan update for the year 2050. So we encourage everybody to attend. But there's also a survey, the QR code for the survey. So we also encourage you to fill out that survey. We're hoping to see everybody there, but if you're not able to make it, there'll be other opportunities to provide your feedback. But please do share it with other people as well. We're hoping to have a good attendance to hear on the needs of our community. The next thing I was just going to mention, as some of you all may know, May is National Bike Month, and we did have a proclamation at the beginning of the month. So we continue to support those efforts for active transportation in our community. The next Texas Transportation Commission meetings, the next one, May 23rd, 2024, and we have June 27th and July 30th. I believe the meeting on June 27th might be when they present the draft unified, the UTP, the Unified Transportation Program. And then the upcoming regularly scheduled MPO meetings, we do have an active transportation committee on May 29th. That's virtual. Technical committee, June 11th. Then our policy committee, if you remember at the last meeting, we took action to change that meeting date to Thursday, June 20th, because of the holiday. So our next meeting for this body will be on June 20th on a Thursday. Same time, 1:30.
Very
Are
good.
there any questions?
Is that it?
That's
All right, any communication items from our colleagues up here? Anything I'd like to add? All right, motion
To adjourn.
Good, motion second. Any opposed? I didn't think so. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.